Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Stephanie Sellen. I am one of the summer graduate interns for New Student in Transition programs, and we are going to be going over a Seawolf Q&A diversity and support services. We'll be beginning in just a couple minutes to make sure that everyone that is interested in logging on has a chance to get settled. Thank you so much. All right. Good evening, students, families, and supporters. We're so excited to have you here. And thank you for joining us for Diversity and Support Services at Stony Brook University. This session, we have representation from our Associate Dean of Multicultural Affairs, Cheryl Chambers, and some peer assistant leaders. So we have a presentation that we will be going over, and then we will have plenty of time to answer any questions you have. Please feel free to utilize the Q&A function so we can make sure that we're getting through all of your questions. Again, we have Cheryl, who is a professional staff, and then we have multiple peer assistant leaders who are current students that attend Stony Brook University that are happy to share their personal experience. Also, this will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So if you were unable to attend the full time, no worries, check back in a few days and you'll be able to check it out on the Stony Brook University New Student Programs YouTube page. I'm going to hand it over to Cheryl.
Okay, well, thank you, Stephanie. And again, welcome everyone to our Seawolf's Q&A. And we're going to be talking about diversity and support services here at Stony Brook. But first, I want you to know that on behalf of my area, which is the Office of Multicultural Affairs, that we welcome you, and we welcome you to this wonderful all-inclusive community here at your new university, Stony Brook. Here at Stony Brook, really, we're very much all about diversity. But we are academic diverse, an academically diverse institution, first and foremost, really boasting colleges and schools and so many programs for both undergrads and graduate students. This is really a place where there are a lot of options and opportunities to explore, engage in research, and really be a part of a community that is committed to innovation, to research, to learning, and to discovery. But we also have diversity amongst the many students and faculty and staff and alumni and visitors that make up this wonderful campus community that we have. And each person, including you, will be bringing that diversity to Stony Brook. We have bragging rights about this, actually, because we have people from all walks of life, as they say, different countries, different communities, different places here in the United States. But how do you really get to learn about the diversity? One way of looking at it, that I look at it, is that diversity is like an iceberg, right? Where most of the aspects of who we are, our unique selves, our cultures, our habits, our cultural underpinnings, if you will, are below the surface. And so for many people, we don't know about these things, but here at Stony Brook, you're going to be able to learn about the diversity of so many of your fellow students, of your faculty, of instructors, of administrators and staff here, really getting below that surface and sharing about yourself as well. So that's what my office is about, multicultural affairs. That is. And we are actually very dedicated to helping everyone to thrive in this diverse environment that we have. We're committed to an all-inclusive campus where all students feel that they are welcome, but also that they matter and that they have a voice and a place here at the university. Diversity is valued here, and it's appreciated and it's celebrated in so many ways, shapes, and forms. And you're going to be a part of that, which is very exciting for us. And it's about learning about people who are different from ourselves and develop the skills and the knowledge and the ability to work very well with them. So on our team, there are 4 professional staff, but we have a whole host of graduate and undergraduate students. And we also have a unit that is devoted to LGBTQ services for our LGBTQ communities, as well as the many allies who support them. It's through powerful partnerships, that is working with campus departments and offices across the university, but also working with the many student clubs and organizations, of which we have over 345 here at Stony Brook, that you can join and be a part of. And of those 345, believe it or not, 80 of them, a little more than 80 actually, are cultural and ethnic interest clubs and organizations. So that's a whole host and a whole lot of students that are contributing to university life, sharing about their culture, and also partnering together and collaborating on programs and activities and projects. We also partner with your undergraduate student government and our graduate student government, all of us working together to make this university the best it can be and dynamic and celebrating diversity. At Stony Brook, there are many programs that highlight diversity and campus traditions that do the same. Every month there's a diversity theme. Hispanic Heritage Month, for example, Pride Month, Black History Month, Women's History Month, etc. And it's my area that partners across the campus with students and academic departments to present programs and learning experiences and cultural events all around these diversity themes. We also offer opportunities for students to work in our office, as well as engage in all sorts of things like leadership development conferences that we have and workshops where you can develop your skills around how to be an effective leader in a diverse campus community, as well as collaborations and related academic experiences for all. So how do you get involved? Well, right off, when you come here at Stony Brook, you can get involved in the Port Jefferson Dragon Boat Racing Festival. We're coordinating that right now. And if you have SB Engaged, it's already posted there and you can sign up for that. Or you can learn about social justice. We have a certificate program that's wonderful that runs through the fall semester, another way of getting involved. And of course, we have 2 centers, cultural centers. We have our Unity Cultural Center, which is going to be opening a couple of weeks from now, and the LGBTQ Center that is on West Campus, offering a welcoming environment really for all students. So I just want to highlight LGBTQ services, where Chris Tanaka is the current assistant director. Yes, a very unique place, I would say, here on our campus, and a unique service that is provided, because it's all really about your safety, being in a healthy, supportive, and affirming environment for all students who are part of our LGBT communities. So we focus on programs, also community building and social justice and education around LGBTQ related issues. Yeah. Advocating, educating, and celebrating is what LGBTQ services offers the entire community. And it's students who get involved and their allies and supporters who get involved, so that this environment is one, and the campus is a place where everyone belongs and everyone is treated fairly. Here's a picture of the center. The center is a beautiful facility that is on West Campus that you'll be able to visit and enjoy. And there are all sorts of ways to keep up with things that are happening in the center and with LGBTQ services. Of course, who doesn't have social media? And that's one of the prominent ways that we do. But students can stop by the center at any time. Yeah. So we're a community, and it's a community that is really about care and respect and civility. We don't always agree on opinions about things here at Stony Brook, but we do commit to having civil, open discourse about anything and about all topics. We're committed to this environment, to creating a place where you feel safe, where you can express your thoughts and your opinions and really have rich discussion with either your professors or with other students or with administrators here that are on campus. But one of the things that is prohibited is discrimination and harassment and creating environments that are not welcoming and are hostile for members of the campus community. And we have some policies around that. So we hold each other accountable to upholding and to creating a positive environment here. We have a community pledge that was developed by students that really defines what it means as a seawolf in terms of our campus community. Let's see. And the pledge, which I will show you in a moment here. Yes. The pledge in and of itself is online, and you can certainly take the pledge. But just to give you a few highlights about it, it highlights our commitments to dignity and respect, challenging racism.
So sorry to interrupt, but we can't see the.
You can't see it?
We only see a part of it. Maybe try stopping sharing your screen and then starting it again.
Okay. Now.
Awesome. Now we can see it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that. Yes, to tell you about the pledge itself, and I just want you to know that as Seawolves, our values really around dignity and respect, promoting freedom and supporting the freedom of expression, and challenging racism, and holding each other accountable and ourselves accountable for our behaviors in this community. And of course, learning and celebrating the diversity that we have here. It's something that's very important to us, and it's something that we do honor. And so back to this moment here, I just want to make sure. We're back to where we need to be. Yes. Okay. So there are departments on campus, I just want you to know this, that do address any kinds of issues or allegations around discrimination, sexual conduct, and gender bias and things like that. We take these things very, very seriously, and all departments across the university, working with our student community, really make sure that here in this environment that we're free from those kinds of concerns. And if they do occur, then they are investigated and that's the responsibility that we have of making certain that here at Stony Brook, that it's an environment that's conducive to learning and everyone succeeding and treating each other fairly and with dignity and respect. So you're getting ready to embark on finding your community. You've been doing that as a part of the summer already. Just as a reminder, SB Engaged and Quark are really your gateways to community, to finding the many smaller communities that you would want to be a part of. It's also a gateway to learn about the diversity and the programs and the services and all of the support and opportunities that you have to really engage in university life. And there are many campus community centers where diversity is happening all the time, where people are coming together either to meet up, to experience a program or an event, or to introduce a program or an event to the university and to the student body. So we have, of course, the Union and the Student Activity Center as community centers, but there's more. The LGBTQ Center as well, I mentioned earlier. And for those of you who are of different faiths, we also have our Interfaith Center, which is located in the Stony Brook Union as well. And they have various chaplaincies for the many faiths that we have on campus. Asian Christian faith, Jewish faith, Islamic, Muslim faith, Protestant, as well as Roman Catholic faith. And then, of course, there is our Rec and Wellness Center, Recreation and Wellness Center, where, hey, you get a great workout, but you also get to engage and really, meet up with other students, taking care of health, attending a variety of health and wellness workshops and courses, and get involved in intramurals and things like that. And then finally, I want to tell you about the Unity Cultural Center again. This is a center that's going to be opening in August, the middle of August, and we're so excited about it because it's really a reflection of what we honor here, and that's different cultures, different backgrounds, and different ethnicities. And it's a beautiful, beautiful facility that you'll be able to enjoy and experience the many programs and activities, or even lounging and just relaxing, in a really wonderful atmosphere with other students. And there's meeting room spaces, and there's also a lounge, and it opens onto the patio of the Stony Brook Union. So really nice spot. It's going to be a hot spot. Yeah. So these are like the main community centers where diversity happens, although diversity happens everywhere, I think, on this campus, but there are so many others. There's also centers throughout the university, and here's a list of most of them. Some of them are academic and research. They have that component to them, but they do programs and activities throughout the year for all students and faculty and staff to attend and to enjoy. And so this is a list of really the diversity that we have here. And I would really encourage and recommend that you take advantage of everything that we have to offer at this university around diversity. We're an inclusive environment. Everyone, as I said earlier, matters and counts. And we're just so thrilled that you're going to be our newest Sea Wolves in just a few well, you're already our new Sea Wolves, but you'll be here. And when classes begin and university life begins, just take it in, enjoy it all, be a part of it. And again, welcome to Stony Brook. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Sea Wolves.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for that presentation. Now we would love to answer some of the questions that you've put in the chat. One of the first questions, and again, inviting Cheryl and the pals as well to answer, to provide their own experience, is it easy to join the LGBTQ club on campus?
Oh, I'm happy to answer that since LGBTQ services is in my area and is advises LGBTA, which is a lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender alliance, is the oldest, one of the oldest student organizations in the history here at Stony Brook. So we're really forward thinking. It is very easy. At the beginning of the semester, there will be, you can't miss them, they are involvement fairs where those hundreds of clubs and organizations, they actually have information tables where the leaders of those groups can answer questions that you might have. You get to meet them, you get to get information about when they meet, how to get in touch, and all of that. When you go to SB Engaged and you click on the organizations, you can look up LGBTA as an organization, and you can even message or send them an email introducing yourself and telling them about your interests. It's very easy to connect and to be joined. And also within Student Life, which is the office that I'm part of, there is the Office of Student Engagement and Activities. And that office works with all of the clubs and organizations. It's easy to be connected. At the beginning of the semester, as part of the Welcome Week, there will be an LGBTQ mixer that will happen. It'll be on your schedule, and we invite you to come to the mixer. Another great way to connect with LGBTA.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Another question that I know that Pal Nahian answered, but I think that would be awesome to just chat about is, are there any martial arts clubs on campus like Kendo? I think a great example of kind of culture and exercise and
Yes.
mix of many things. Nahian, I see that you answered that one. Would you like to speak to it?
Yeah, so there's actually just like other than Kendo, there's also other martial arts, but since I know a lot about Kendo, I can talk about that. It's one of the Japanese martial arts, so more diversity over here. So not only that, there's actually like a lot of people in the club as well from diverse backgrounds. So I'm personally the president of the club right now, and we get a lot of people every semester, so definitely in the involvement fair, you can actually check that out. Other than martial arts like Kendo, there's also Taekwondo, karate, and a lot of things to explore in like Stony Brook University. So definitely during the development fair or also in SB Engaged, you can actually find a lot of cultural clubs as well, other than Kendo. So definitely take your time to look around and see what you like and go to the clubs. And I'm pretty sure you're going to find a great community over there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nahian. Valet or Yui, just want to open up. Are there any clubs you want to share or talk about of any of your involvement?
Sure. Thank you, Pal Nayan. So as Pal Nayan mentioned, we have the website called as Be Engaged, and we also have the app version, which is Corq, C-O-R-Q. Super handy. You use it with your net ID and password. That's where you can find the list of events. And some of the clubs that are of interest to me is the astronomy club, because it's very close to my major, which is physics. I love astronomy club. We also have an observatory on campus on the Earth and Space Sciences building. So the club also has things like observation nights. And again, it's a very diverse club. So when it comes to clubs that are directed towards more academic stuff, for example, maybe the math club or the astronomy club. So there is no prerequisite to be a part of the club, which is great. So someone with no knowledge of astronomy could still attend the meetings and will still be able to participate in those meetings. So that is something I like about the clubs that are on campus. Not only the academic clubs, but certain performance clubs, they are also like, okay, they test you to what extent is your knowledge about that or that form of art, and then they would like train you so that you get to their level, and that's how like you get involved and engaged with those clubs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Valet. That was great. Another question we have is it diverse on campus itself? I'm used to walking around all sorts of people, so I would be able to meet people of all different ethnic, social, and other backgrounds. So is campus diverse, I think, is kind of the main question. Hint,
So,
yes.
yes, I can go on with that. So, since like I am international, uh, the first time I came over here, I actually found that I was like, it was comfortable for me because, well, the first thing I noticed that there were like a lot of people from different backgrounds over here, and I found people from my own country, but that's not the only thing. Like there were people from other countries as well, which made me feel like at home over here. Because sometimes like it made me feel like there's like I'm trying out a lot of new things. Also joined a lot of cultural clubs to actually see how they are and the people over there. So I actually had a great time over here, and I'm pretty sure you can pretty much find something you're looking for over here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nahian. And do any of you, including Cheryl, want to kind of chat about different clubs and organizations and how you can get involved?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. There are literally, like I said, hundreds of student clubs and organizations and groups to connect with. And so one of the best ways to learn who they are is to go to the SB Engaged website, click on the link for organizations. And you will be able to read about all the groups, what their purpose is, and also link to their leadership, where a contact person where you can send information or ask a question if you have a question, okay? So, and they run the gamut. I mean, from academic and pre-professional organizations across many different majors and many different disciplines, to advocacy groups that support a particular cause or a concern or phenomena or something that's happening in the world, right? To the cultural clubs and organizations, which there are over 80. And even within that, there's a whole host of diversity, to performing groups that perform in dance or in music or in spoken word. To media groups. There are a lot of like publications, there's online publications and such, and magazines. And these are all run by students who are leaders and clubs and organizations. There also, of course, are the club sports. And there's got to be at least 50 of those, or close to 50. We've been talking about the martial arts already, but there also are other club sports as well of groups. You name it, I think we have it. And if we don't have it and students want it, we help them to build it and get it. We're constantly adding clubs and orgs to Stony Brook's student life, and helping leaders to get their groups off the ground and to really be a part of things. So when you come here, the first 2 weeks of class, no, 3 weeks, you'll hear about involvement fairs. There will be big outdoor fairs on the student activity, in front of the Student Activity Center on the Academic Mall. And this is where you'll be able to visit many of these groups, get to know the leaders, connect with them, and then you decide what you want to be involved in. You'll have a lot of options and a lot of choices, and you'll be welcome with open arms.
Great, thank you so much. Another question I want to answer is, do people tend to stick together with people who are similar to them? Like, are there cliques? And maybe the students want to speak to that potentially.
So I can go first. So I would say that that is true and false, because, well, I have seen that happening. Obviously, some people are more comfortable with other people, but I've also seen people who are like open to explore a lot of things, and they want to go out of their comfort zone. So definitely it's like a mixture of both of them, I feel like. But if you always want, like, you can actually go out and like meet other people as well. Like everyone's welcoming over here, I feel. At first it might feel a bit like weird trying to like not just meet with those specific friends, your friend group you have, but going out to different events, like going to like meet other friends, right? So Definitely go out and meet more people, and like you might find your own group, or you might have like other groups as well you can like hang out with. So it's like an option. It's totally how you feel like it.
Great, thank you so much. Another kind of specific question about joining clubs do clubs accommodate your schedule, or are the events always going to be on a specific day or time?
Oh, I can answer that. So some clubs, they do have like a specific schedule. So for example, like performance teams, they do have like certain days of the week where they will rehearse. So if you are busy, like let's say that day, so you might have to like work it around or something. But I will say that in terms of like events, pretty much like you have events all throughout the week, even including weekday nights. Like the clubs will host GBMs or general body meetings. They are open to like general public. You don't have to like affiliate with the club to go. I personally go there a lot. Like whenever I have nights off and I just feel like going to something fun, I'll just hop onto the event. They're free. You get to meet a lot of amazing people, just have free like food most of the times, or like free um like drink. Yeah, so I'll definitely recommend going and find the right club that works for you. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much, Yui. And then another question, or two questions that I think we can kind of combine. First is, what is a PAL? How can I become one? And then, does orientation last through fall semester?
So PAL is like peer assistant leader, and pretty much we are peer assistant leaders, me, PAL Valet, and PAL Yui, and there's other peer assistant leaders as well. We're pretty much here to help you have like a great transition for your first semester and pretty much for your first year as well. There's like so many things like we're going to be trying to help you out throughout the time. So like it's kind of be like checking up with everything is if everything is all right, having stable connections with you, and visit days for campus tours during the orientation, during your welcome week as well. We're going to be trying our best to make sure that you're having a great time transitioning over here. And we're going to be trying to be around you all the time. But if you have any questions about anything, you can always reach out to us. And if you want to be a PAL, you can actually apply in your spring semester. So you're gonna get an application for that in spring semester. After you complete the application, you're gonna have like a video interview. Well, that was the case for me, but it might be different. Like it might not be a video interview next time. So you'll have to watch out for what happens for next spring.
And also adding on to what Paul Nahian was saying, we also have another position within the new student transition program called orientation leader. Actually, before I become a peer assistant leader, I was an orientation leader last summer. I helped out a lot during the orientation with like all the required events. I met a lot of like new students, helped them through their transition as well. So I would strongly recommend, if you're a little like hesitant about like becoming a huge like PAL and like worried if like you can do that, maybe like start with orientation leader, because orientation leader is only like I will say like a little bit more than a week, like around 10 days of like helping out with the program. So definitely like start that as like first step, and then kind of work your way up to peer assistant leader. Yeah.
Also adding to what Pal Yui added to what Pal Nahayan said, along with Pal's OLs, we also have another position called the International Students Ambassador, the ISAs. They are very similar to what OLs do, helping us during the welcome week with the orientation events and mandatory stuff, but they're more directed towards international students. So again, diversity. If you're interested in working with people from different background, different country, and uh, different experiences growing up, then yeah, I would say ISA is a very fulfilling position for you.
Awesome. And then just kind of piggybacking off of that, Valet, there's a question that came up that said, are there a lot of international students at Stony Brook?
So I would say yes, there are a lot of international students at Stony Brook. So I did have a hard time finding like someone who is an international student. For example, I found Pal Nayan. Pal Nayan and I met when we were working as OL. So yeah, you could like apply for a job and you could start working, and you could just find international students there. there would be international students in your class as well. So yeah, there are a lot of international students, and I like I like Stony Brook because it just takes so much effort to make sure that international students are feel welcomed here once they arrive here during their time at Stony Brook.
Um, Adding on to that, I would also like to say that there's actually an organization where international students, it's a club. I think it's International Student Association. One of my friends was an e-board for that, and it's a great club. They have host events and other stuff. They also give out free stuff. So if you're actually into that, you can definitely check that out.
Awesome. And just to give you kind of a little, I guess, kind of piece of information, we have 18 PALs or peer assistant leaders, and 4 of them are international students. So that kind of gives you some, just kind of an example of, that it's not the majority, but, they are there, and yeah, you won't be alone. Another question that we have is, as students yourselves, can you tell us, was it easy to fit in on campus? Did you feel like you fit in?
It wasn't difficult at all for me to fit in. That was something I was really worried about when I was leaving home, that will I be able to fit in, or would I be able to adjust to the environment here? But yeah, so it wasn't very hard for me to fit in, especially because I was able to find people or friends who were from the same place where I am from. So yeah, that was very helpful. Apart from that, there are cultural clubs and organizations, and they were so let's say you're missing the food you have at home, so you could just you could attend an event at a cultural organization, and they would have their own authentic cuisine, whatever culture they represent. So yeah, it wasn't very hard for me to get adjusted to the environment here.
Ahyan, would you like to share any of your experience?
Yeah. You want to go first, Louis?
You can go first.
Okay, so I would say that I definitely took advantage of the clubs over here. Because my first year over here, I didn't know a lot of people. I was here all alone. And then as I started going to events and started to go out a lot over here, I started meeting a lot of people, and that's I have made a lot of connections. And also that my roommates, they were pretty chill as well. I had a great time with them. So as I got to know them, I got to know other people they knew as well. So that's how you make a lot of connections over here, and those connections get you a long way over here at Stony Brook University.
Yeah, also kind of similar to what Paul Nahyun and Paul Valley was mentioning. I kind of had anxiety my freshman year as well, trying to make friends, because all my friends from high school, they went to different schools. I was really sad. But I realized literally the first semester, it's really easy to find friend and just have fun on campus. I'll say don't even stressed about fitting in, because the community is really inclusive. You're gonna find people that's have shared interests with you. You don't need to even fit in with them. You just find people who has the same interest, who loves to hang out with you, who loves to go to events with you. Even if you're not the most active person, or you don't like to go to events, there's tons of opportunities. I've met a lot of my friends through literally sitting in front of my dorm in the Mendy pit. I met a lot of people. So don't you really don't need to stress like me about making friends. There's a lot of opportunities here. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There's one that I definitely want to talk about. Someone shared a fear and they were vulnerable and said, my English is not good. I would be laughed at. So I would love to, have the pals kind of speak to, did you have any fears like that? Do you have anything you want to say to kind of affirm that this person, that they will be okay, they'll make friends?
Okay, so I'm an international student. I do not have the perfect accent as well. Even though I've been trying to make that better, even though I was a bit anxious about that as well, I would say when I'm coming over here, because we all try to be perfect, but there's like we cannot be perfect, right? But the thing is, like over here, there's like other international students as well, and a lot of people who are actually like really good at like communicating, but it doesn't mean that they have to have perfect accent, right? So as long as you can actually get your ideas through and like express yourself, that's totally fine. We are all understanding over here, and I have never had problems with that over here, so that's totally, I was totally fine with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Another question said, I know that there are a lot of clubs on campus. Are they made for the diverse students, or would it be for specific demographics? You mentioned Kendo Club, so I was just wondering. So I think it means, is Kendo Club specifically just for Japanese people, or is it open to more things? Are they, very kind of closed off to specific cultures, or how does that work?
I can-
So,
Oh.
oh, okay, you can go on. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. You speak from your experience. You're the student Seawolf here and campus leader, so please go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I would say that a lot of clubs do have like a lot of people from different diversity and backgrounds. Because for speaking from my experience, like my club, like the Kendo Club, they actually not only Japanese people, there's actually people from different backgrounds. Like, well, I am not Japanese, but I'm still the president of the club. So that's just an example. There's like even the e-board members, like they're from different backgrounds as well. Well, to actually say that none of the board members are Japanese in my club. But then again, like there are actually Japanese people in the club too, but there's a mix of like people from different backgrounds. That's not only for the Kendo club, for other clubs as well. Even though it's like, let's say a club for background about like a specific like diversity, there's gonna be people from other diversities in that club as well. So you're gonna be welcome wherever you go, hopefully.
And if I can just add just one little one point to that, what you were saying, and that is that, all undergraduate students are members of all clubs and organizations. And so there is no restriction. Everyone is invited to be a part of every student group, whether or not you exercise your membership. But if you did that over 345 groups, you wouldn't go to class. All right. But so, you kind of pick and choose those that really do resonate with you the most or that you want to explore. But and so there's opportunities to be involved and engaged in all of these groups for everyone. No restrictions whatsoever. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Another question is, are there cultural foods in the dining halls? So do y'all want to speak to that? The answer is yes, but let's go a little more in depth.
I can go first. So yeah, of course, yeah. As Stephanie said, the answer is yes. We do offer cultural food at dining halls. The FSA does a pretty good job of doing that. When it comes to cultural food, it mainly comes down to what festival is it, or like what season is it. So, for example, during the Chinese Lunar New Year, something like that, we have authentic Chinese food. So I'm an international student. I'm from India, so we celebrate. So there's this festival called Diwali. So during Diwali, we celebrate Diwali at Stony Brook as well. So during Diwali, we have like authentic Indian cuisine and things like that. So yeah, if there's a festival and that is celebrated across Stony Brook University, which I'm pretty sure it is, because it's just such a diverse community here, then yeah, FSA, the Faculty Student Association, does offer authentic like cultural cuisine at the dining halls. And it is great. And it's not like okay. I actually like the cultural food that they offer at dining halls.
Adding on to what Pal Valet said, there's actually whenever there's a festival and there's actually, they have like specific food catering towards that, you're gonna get an email from FSA. They're gonna be like what food they have for the day, and you can actually check it out in the NutriSlice app as well. In the NutriSlice app, you can check a lot of food options, like if you want like, let's say pizza, or you want like taco, they have like Taco Tuesday thing over here at dining hall. So there's a lot of options we have for like cultural foods and whatever kind of diverse food you're looking for over here.
Go ahead, Billy.
Adding on to what Pal Nayan said, we have the NutriSlice app, and you could check it on, you could look it on the website and through emails. But it's not necessarily only during the festival that the cultural food is offered. So for example, we have a dining location on campus called Jasmine, and Jasmine is known for its Asian cuisine. So we have Chinese, we have Korean, we have Japanese. We also serve tea at Jasmine. We have another dining location on campus called Roth Cafe. The Roth Cafe serves Indian. Again, we have Chinese there. We also have a Starbucks in Roth Cafe. So it's like if you want to, also there are like a few dining locations across close to campus, around campus, that you could go to. It's pretty much within the walking distance. So yeah, if you ever feel like having a certain type of cuisine, I'm pretty sure you would find an option for that.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives. All right, we've answered so many questions. I really appreciate all the questions coming in. I think this is going to be the last one to wrap it up. So this question is there a diverse faculty at SBU?
Yes, and I'll respond to that. Yes, the faculty is diverse. We do have faculty really across the span the gamut, and reflect many different racial and ethnic groups. The diversity of the faculty is it's different from the diversity of the student population. It's not at the same percentages, but nonetheless, students do have an opportunity to engage with faculty from different countries, different geographical areas, different ethnic backgrounds. We have ethnic studies departments that are committed to actually studying, you know, the sociology of different groups and such. And faculty work together really across all of these different arenas of or areas of identities with the student community. So you will find diversity amongst the faculty and opportunities really to work alongside and to research and explore with faculty of different backgrounds and genders as well, of course.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Again, thank you so much to Cheryl Chambers for coming. And thank you to all of our pals, Valet, Nahyan, and Yui. We really appreciate you sharing your experience and your knowledge and, everything that you had to give. So we really appreciate that. Again, if you are interested in seeing any of our other Q&As, they will be posted on our YouTube channel. So if you search SBU New Student Programs, we will make sure that in the next week, all of the videos are posted. But once again, thank you so much to the participants for showing up. We really appreciate you. And we're so excited to see you come August as new Seawolves. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everybody.